Newest member in Parliament, I must admit to having a sense of expectation for the Prime Minister's statement yesterday. Yes, I did have a sense of expectation. As one of the first of what will be many Prime Minister's statements I'll sit through, I thought that I might not agree with everything or any of what the Prime Minister had to say, but I might finally get an idea of where this government is taking us and what course they will take to try and improve the life of New Zealanders. But what a disappointment, huge disappointment, that would have been shared around New Zealand by Kiwis in their homes, because we got nothing. We got absolutely nothing. And yesterday, Phil Goff got it 100% right. 2 years on, and this government has no ideas. It has run out of ideas. It has no ideas, no plans, and has created no jobs. And what a disappointment it was that it took us 22 pages for John Key to tell us nothing. 22 pages. What a waste of 11 pages of A4 paper. They've reverted back to the tired old policies of old. They've gone back to the vault, pried it open, and what have we got? State asset sales and cuts and slashes. And they've reverted to that because they've got no ideas and they've got no plan. And the fact that they've got no ideas and no plan just shows how out of touch this government is with the normal Kiwis. With the people I see at the Porirua markets who go down there to make sure they can get the best deal because they're struggling to make ends meet. And the parents that I saw at the early childhood centres who are worried about their kids' education. And they're out of touch with the people that I saw at the League who all came up to me and said, hey, look, I'm really worried about what's happening with prices rising faster than wages. This government is out of touch. And those people are worried about simple things, like their power prices going up, which will only get worse when this government sells off our state-owned power companies. And rising petrol, which has gone up to nearly $2 a litre, thanks to John Key's increase of GST to 15%, and their grocery bills going up because John Key broke his promise not to raise GST. And they're also worried about early childhood centres and what that means for them. Some of the parents in my electorate are going to be forced to pay $25 more a week for each child. And some of those parents have 3 children in these early childhood centres. So I wonder where the Minister is going to tell those families to get that money from. So yesterday, we all sat here hoping for a bit of help and a bit of hope for the people in our electorates. But what did we get? We got nothing. What did the people get who were sitting around the kitchen table looking at the bills piling up and wondering how they're going to pay them? What did they get from John Key? Well, for them, they got no ideas, no plan, and for lots of them, they have no jobs. Because this government does not care about them. They care about the 42% of tax cuts that they gave to the top 10% of earners. It doesn't care about the people who are sitting at the kitchen table wondering how they're going to pay the bills. And those families are struggling because this government has done nothing about jobs, because it's got no ideas and no plans to create them. And this government sits over there thinking they're the great guardians of the economy. Well, great. Last week, unemployment went up to 6.4%. 158,000 Kiwis are now without jobs. 158,000 breadwinners who can't support themselves or their families. 1,700 more in the last quarter just in Wellington alone, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of those people who are unfortunately in mana. They've become unemployed because this government has no ideas and no plans to create jobs. And they'll sit over there and say, hey, we've done heaps. Well, what have we had? We've had a cycleway at a hastily arranged job summit in early 2009. It's a big idea. A huge idea, thousands of jobs. Well, excuse me, I don't think I've seen thousands of tourists riding around on any cycleway, and I haven't seen any of the jobs created by the scheme that John Key was praising to the hills in early 2009. Because National has done nothing but window dressing. So what is that meaning in the community? Well, it's meaning plenty of hurt, but no hope. On Monday, I visited a number of community services in Porirua who are picking up the pieces of this government's lack of plan and lack of ideas. So I travelled up to budget services who are flat tack. They're telling me they're seeing more single men, the kind of people that Mr Key is trying to attract when he goes on Radio Sport. He's doing nothing for them. They're telling me that they're seeing more breadwinners with both of the people in the couple without jobs. And there is no end in sight for them because there are no jobs to go to, because this government hasn't created any. So you pop up to the Citizen Advice Bureau and they tell you that people are getting more desperate because when a factory closes in my electorate, they get deluged with people asking for help. But what can you do for people when there are no jobs to go to? Not one thing. You say, hey, just sit around and wait for a job to come. But this government is not doing anything about it. They have no ideas and no plans to create jobs. So what it should have been doing is investing in education, in training, in innovation, and giving tax cuts to the people who need it by stimulating the economy, feeding that money into the economy so those people who need the help are stimulating the economy, creating more jobs. But did we get that? No. We've got 42% to the top 10%. This government is not helping those Kiwis who are struggling at the moment. And this government also doesn't care about giving our kids the best start in life. And the Education Minister's example of early childhood education cuts is the perfect example of it. $400 million taken out of early childhood education. And Minister, those kids might not have voices, but their parents do. And we have been visiting these early childhood centres. And the parents are unhappy. And I'm not surprised you're not visiting them at the moment, Minister, because in my electorate, as I said, one centre is increasing its fees by $25 a week. One family has 3 kids. $75 a week. It is outrageous, and you're doing it. It is outrageous. See, the penny finally drops for the Minister. It is outrageous that early childhood education fees are going up, and you are doing it. So this family has 3 kids at this centre, $75 a week, more a week. Now, where are they going to get that from? What goes? The food? The clothes? The powder? What piles up on the kitchen table at the end of the week? What piles up on the kitchen table at the end of the week? So these parents can give their kids the best start in life. So these kids can just go to early childhood education and between 2 and 5 have the best start in life. Well, what's going to go? What is going to go? And they are the questions that I am facing in my electorate because of the decision that this government is making. And look, some ECEs need to be congratulated because they won't be increasing their fees. The Kindergarten Association needs to be congratulated because they won't increase their fees. But do you know what? The kids are indirectly affected because what else is going to go? Staff. Cuts in staff, which means teacher-student ratios go through the roof. You can kiss goodbye to trips for the kids because they're not happening anymore. You can kiss goodbye to the building maintenance for the kids because that's not happening anymore. You can kiss goodbye to the resources. What are we going to have? Early childhood centres with no crayons and paint because this government is so stingy and it doesn't want to invest in early childhood education? That is the reality of what's going on.
What was the investment this year?
This is about priorities. And we will make early childhood education a priority because we care about the future of our kids, and that government knows the cost of everything but the value of nothing, as many of my colleagues have said today. Those centres will be cutting staff, cutting resources and deferring maintenance for our children in the earliest stage of their lives. And the Kapiti Mana has got it right this week. ECE cuts a backward step. And what do we get from the National member? The National said more effective. National said more effective spending in the tough economic times will benefit in the long run. What a load of rubbish. We know that for every dollar we spend in early childhood education, we save $17 down the line. And I think that's a great investment because on this side of the house, we do care about our kids. This government has no ideas and no plan to create jobs. This government has no ideas and no plan to give our kids the best start in life, and this government has no ideas and no plan to help struggling Kiwis. But we do.